harnessing the power of AI to improve conservation and sustainable use of biodiversity and ecosystems in a rapidly changing and resource-limited world. Our speaker is going to focus on harnessing the potential of emerging technologies such as AI and digital tokens and models of collective intelligence to amplify social and environmental impact. Please welcome Constanza Mont, co-founder of Sea Minds and AI for Climate, 2021 to 2022 chair of AI for Humanity Global Future Council at the World Economic Forum. Welcome, Constanza.
Hi. There we go. There is a new paradigm for us all to explore and help lead. An era where it is more profitable and valuable to conserve nature than to exploit it unsustainably. Let's start by talking about the value of nature. It is no doubt that the value of nature is intrinsic. It goes far beyond supplying human needs. For many, we are part of nature. It is valued for its beauty, for cultural and spiritual and recreational reasons. It is also valued for its ecosystem services, and it provides to all living beings. This actually amounts to more than $140 trillion per year. All aspects of life depend on nature, and it is safe to say that nature underpins all existence. However, we, as a global ecosystem, have not found a way yet for making it more profitable and valuable to conserve nature than to degrade it for its services. From unsustainable fishing practices to unsustainable lumber practices, there is no doubt that we're living in an imbalance between humans' demands and nature's capacity to supply the goods and services we rely on. From 1992 to 2014, the produced capital per person doubled, and the human capital per person augmented 13%. However, the natural capital per person decreased by 40%. And the number of species up to 2014 decreased by 60%. This is fuel for thought for an unquestionable question that is more philosophical maybe and cultural that we need to ask ourselves of our lack of conscious evolution perhaps, that we have not found ways of zero-sum situations. And it is also a very practical reflection as the maths just don't add up. There is no doubt that there is an impact inequality that we must address urgently, not only for ethical reasons, but only for profound economical ones, as all economies on Earth depend on nature and are within nature, not external to it. However, for the AI global ecosystem and the problem solvers, there is nothing better as a time-sensitive, wicked, global, urgent, and multidimensional challenge to spark our creativity and innovation to find better ways to address this challenge. And thus, there is options for change that are worth our collective pursuit. Among many, there is one, to develop markets for the investment and protection of nature. And two, to massively scale solutions and close the biodiversity funding gap. This, among many other things, by de-risking financing of nature-based solutions. For this, for unprecedented flows of money to be able to enter this field. And this is where nature tech comes in. AI and other technologies have a very, very important role, even change-making role, to create effective and scalable, transparent, accountable, and a trustworthy field of nature-based solutions. Let me share a case study that we're working in AI for Climate and Sea Minds, the organization I lead. This is a Yucatan Peninsula. Apart from its glorious beaches, and plenty of excuses for our out-of-office replies, this is a home for an impressive species, the jaguar. The jaguar has always represented ecological balance. For millennia, for the Mayans, it has represented power, the light that comes from the underneath world. It's power that is given to the sun for it to shine, and from where kings and descendants came from. Recently, for conservationists and biologists, the jaguar is considered an umbrella species. That means that the health of the jaguar represents the health of the ecosystem. If there is enough prey for the jaguar to live in that area, it means that there is a balance in the ecosystem it lives in. Thus, protecting the jaguar means protecting the entire ecosystem around it. In the 16th century, there were more than 100,000 jaguars in the continent, ranging from North America to the tropical forests of South America. However, up to date, more than 50% of its territory has been lost. And in some countries, such as the United States, El Salvador, and Uruguay, it has become completely extinct. In Mexico, my country, it has been reduced to 40% of the territory it lived, mostly because of degradation of its ecosystem, because of deforestation, because of the constant tension it has with activities of humans that are coming to live more and more in the habitat they inhabit, and because of illegal poaching. Also, the habitat where it lives it's like this. It's impenetrable. How can we know about the health of this species and the health of the ecosystem if we cannot measure or have impact or have data of its status? For example, in the past, up to a year ago, how we measured the existence of the jaguars and its presence in this area was through its footprints. But as you can imagine, this is not sustainable. It required tons of human resources that went into these very vast areas of jungle. You know, mud up to here. Actually, the first day I went, I lost a shoe. And this gives us lack of data to understand how to protect it effectively. Also, rain washes these footprints pretty fast. And we did not know if this footprint was from one jaguar in the area that came back and forth, or if it was plenty of jaguars that were living there. So in this context, we saw a beautiful opportunity to walk the talk on the power of AI to transform solutions and to bring scalability and efficiency. We came together, C-Minds, AI for Climate, together with the government of Yucatan, IUCN, the local community that is a Mayan community in Silam Reserve, the Huawei's Cloud, the Politécnico of Yucatan University, and the participation of Rainforest Connection to create Tech for Nature Mexico, where we both want to harness the power of AI, but as well the power of local knowledge and multidimensional knowledge of partners from all sectors. We installed camera traps in the area. And from these camera traps, we have 30,000 images and videos that we have gotten in a very short period of time. We partnered up with the local university for students and professors to apply their knowledge to real cases in their area and apply AI system to solve the challenges of their state. For this, they developed 2 neural networks that right now are running at 95% efficiency. The first neural network is to identify the presence of jaguars in the images. And the second one is to identify not only if we have jaguars or not in these images, but what jaguar it is. Based on its fur patterns or rosettes, we can identify if a jaguar is passing through, if it's living isolated, and also connect these databases with other regions in the region to be able to see if it's a jaguar population that is moving through the corridor around. Also, we're monitoring and evaluating the health of a large ecosystem that lives. With this, we installed audio moths that capture the sounds of the environment. With pattern matching neural networks, what we have done with our partners is to be able to identify from 550,000 acoustic records we got in only a few months, 116 species, from which 33 were endangered ones. Many of these species we did not even know existed in this area. And actually, some conservationists knew that maybe some of these existed, but did not have the evidence, and thus did not have the evidence to prove how to protect the area or to get resources to have a larger corridor of protection. What we're doing is presenting this information in an open platform where not only scientists can access the information, but anyone who is interested in understanding the health of the ecosystem and the patterns of these species over time can access. Also, other people that are using acoustic pattern recognition systems can upload their sound to this system to be able to see if there's a matching with other species, and also be able to see the changes of the species over time. From frogs to parrots to monkeys, this platform is giving us a sense and a pulse of the liveliness and the health of the area. This information that would have been impossible to analyze by humans in these months that we've had, and we're actually doing the goal of 6 years of a whole administration in only a few months, has been presented in important spaces such as COP15 here in Montreal by the governor of the state, where he testifies about the power of these AI systems to be able to have better decision-making, better policies, and to be able to see how many resources and what is the extension of the area of these protected biodiversity corridors. Also, this information has allowed us to see what are the lands that need to be part of this protected biocorridors. Some people, actually the rangers and local people, are willing to donate their land for them to become part of this corridor because we have now the evidence that jaguars and other species are part of it. However, apart from their goodwill in the donation of these lands, we're discovering how the biodiversity credits and carbon credits can be a platform for them to have profitability on this. As well, we're having the evidence to put this land in the IUCN Green List of protected areas. These are the pictures of the community, which have been as important for this project than developing the AI systems. We have gathered their local knowledge, we have been learning from them, and we have been teaching AI techniques to come together to form a project that has profitability for everyone in the reserve. Actually, Don Juan, the third picture, he's a very interesting story and character. Long time ago, he was one of the main poachers of the jaguars in the area. However, he started to learn about this jaguar's importance and the representation of the health of the ecosystem through the lens of the jaguar's protection. He left these poaching activities, and now he's the ranger #1 and the advocate that is really working for the conservation of this. He's not only our spokesman, but also we're giving him the tools to be able to talk about this case study with AI literacy, enabling more economic activities for the regions such as tourism and other sources of credits. For this case study, as many others, AI has proven to be able to scale solutions, to bring more efficiencies, to create more trustworthy schemes among stakeholders, and also to prove with evidence why we need resources to create biological corridors, not only in this area, but in all Central America. It has also given us the evidence to create business case studies on why it is worth to invest in nature-based solutions, and what is the return of investment on this. Also, the question that we're asking us right now is how can we redistribute the benefits of AI systems? We believe we also have to walk the talk when we say that the benefits should be equitable and that the community should have access to the benefits of whatever AI system that is created. Those are the questions we're asking right now, and those are the questions we hope to answer in the next few months. Also, the environmental impact. We must be very aware of the AI system's impact in a carbon footprint in the environment. And meanwhile, we transit to having energy sources that are carbon neutral and AI developments that are carbon neutral by source, we are measuring our impact and going to be able to compensate these in carbon credits in the same area. This is only one example of multiple examples we're living in the region of nature tech and the power of AI and digital tokens and Web3 applications to be able to be a game changer in this area. It is said that we invest in nature tech, there would be a return on investment of $4.5 trillion annually. And by 2030, we would have $4.5 trillion of opportunities in this area. And this is a very important question for all of us to ask, because in Latin America and the Caribbean, it hosts more than 40% of the world's biodiversity. Together with Canada and United States, it's more than 60%. And even in the whole area, we have more than 50% of the tropical forests. So investing in nature tech market, as said, is not only an ethical consideration, but also a needed and urgent and dynamic market we should all push for it to exist. As my father said when I was small repeatedly, our society is defined not only by what we create, but what we refuse to destroy. And in this sense, I really hope that we, as an AI global community, can be as proud of the tools we have created to enable and have new things in all aspects of our lives, than of how these same tools were used to be able to protect and have the planet, our home, as a one-point conservation. Also, what we need is to come together to think about these collective answers and to understand that this is not only ethical questions we're making, but also profound economical ones. Because we have to learn how to live within nature and not external to it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Constanza, for a very beautiful and moving presentation. I want to open it up for questions. I'm sure there are people here who are, kind of interested in this topic and maybe even getting involved. We have a room full of technical people here who could use those skills to forward causes like yours. I think we have a lady here. Yes, perfect. Yeah, fire away. And feel free to introduce yourself and say who you are if you feel like it.
Thanks. Hi, I'm Fernando del Castillo. I'm a fellow Latin American, so congratulations and thank you for your talk. I'm impressed about the amazing work that you did with local communities, and I wanted to hear a bit more of lessons learned, challenges that you faced when interacting with these different cultures.
Of course. Challenges, tons of them. So from losing our devices to the rain and to ants, and having literally ants interfere, with the pictures, we know that scalability of these applications is a question we have to solve for. Both for connectivity reasons, so right now what we're using is radio transmission to try to avoid connectivity, because we also have to be very honest. If we connect more and more lands, poachers can also access this information. So we're being very careful on how to connect this in a very sensible way. Second, there is not a lot of numbers of jaguars to get a lot of data from. So the neural networks, as we know, require tons of data points to be trained. So we had to use other transfer learning techniques to be able to develop these neural networks from other case studies. This, together with the expertise needed for a human to be able to tag correctly and to be able to correct where there's not efficient results, has been a constant need throughout the entire life cycle. As with the the local community, it has been a beautiful experience, but it has had to have its own pace. Because sometimes it's easier for an AI community to just come and sprinkle AI on things without respecting traditional knowledge or without respecting these horizontal collaborations. So for us, it has been making the pace of this project respond to the need to have horizontality in these type of applications. We have learned so much from traditional knowledge, from the importance of the jaguars, and we have supplied, I hope, useful tools for them to also profit from these new ventures. However, this requires time, which sometimes we're living in a very fast-paced AI ecosystem where we want results, immediate results. So this has been a consideration to take into account.
Thank you very much. And we've had lots of people articulate challenges over the last 2 days. You're the first person to say ants as the beginning of the answer.
Definitely.
I think there were a couple of other hands, and I think we have time for at least one other question. I felt like there was some movement over here. No, I feel like we've gone shy. Okay, maybe I misread, but thank you very much, Constanza. That was fantastic.
Thank you.
Constanza, everybody. And now, so after that fascinating talk about using AI and technical ways to preserve the natural world, we are going to move swiftly on to have a chat, hopefully virtually, with the one and only Gary Marcus, scientist, author, professor emeritus at NYU, and I'm hoping, I believe we have him on the line. I know we're maybe a little touch early, so bear with us. There we go.